Hi, I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the Downsizing Designer. It's Tuesday night, and I always talk about something downsizing, decluttering, lifestyle design. So, one of the problems that people have, and they talk to me about, is that they cannot stop holding on to what I call just in case stuff. So, we're probably all guilty of holding on to some of those things just in case. We might need them, we might want them. And I totally get it because I'm guilty of that too. I still have a hard time letting go of my business suits that I wore for years, although right now I rarely use them. Sometimes we do need to be prepared in the event that we need some of those things, but it's also possible that we hold on to too many of those just in case items. So for instance, do I really need 10 business suits, or could I really just use and keep 2 or 3? So there's definitely two sides to this story, two ways to look at it. So I'm going to make the case for both sides, a case for, a case against holding on to possessions just in case. So if you have that issue, I hope that this particular broadcast helps you. So this is the case for holding on to just in case stuff. So for sure, we should hold on to certain paperwork to avoid issues after we die. Our financial statements, our trust documents, our wills, mortgage statements, and documents, and our living will. And for sure, we should hold on to some meaningful things from our parents and loved ones who might have passed. So for me, it was my dad's walking sticks, which it's a collection that he got from over the years of traveling, and it just was meaningful to me. Another was my mom's teacups, which we would sit and have tea together. So for sure, you should keep some of those meaningful mementos from your family and parents and loved ones. And for sure, this is day-to-day stuff, just cooking utensils, the everyday needs for pots and pans, bowls, dishes, and that kind of thing. But you will start to question, is it really necessary to hold on to all of those things just in case? Do we really need 7 wooden spoons, 4 sets of measuring cups? So if you think about it, there are a few things that maybe we have just too many of, and those are those just in case items. So this is the case now against holding on to just in case stuff. So one is it weighs us down physically, mentally, emotionally. Too much stuff causes overwhelm and stress. It prevents us from being productive and able to focus. So an example would be too much paperwork. Those very old receipts, the outdated appliance manuals, those kind of things are unnecessary. We do hold on to them, but in many ways they weigh us down mentally and sometimes physically if it's too much. A second case against holding on to that just in case stuff is it takes up valuable space. So how often do I really need all those 10 business suits? That they take up valuable space in my closet, making it hard to even find clothes that I want when I need them. And number 3, a case against holding on to all of that just in case stuff is your kids will have to deal with it when you're gone. This becomes a nightmare for them because they'll probably wonder, why did mom and dad hold on to their high school yearbooks, their college textbooks, that kind of stuff. So those are the just in case things that we could possibly get rid of. Number 4 is it gives false comfort. So do we really need all of those extra outdated power cords, those old phones that we probably have sitting around? Those are just in case items. Just in case my phone goes out, I'll have an old phone. Just in case my wires I need more wires. But then the bottom line is that we oftentimes just let them sit and they never get used. And the last thing is it costs precious resources. So that time, money, freedom thing, having too much stuff, it helps us not have that simpler more minimalist life with less. So you can see that you could argue both sides of this case, a case for just-in-case items and a case against just-in-case items. But if you're motivated to start decluttering your home so you can have that simpler life with less, and if you want to start relieving yourself of some of that just-in-case stuff, there are 3 steps that I'd like you to take. You can do it right now, actually, to learn how to let go and be free of just in case I need it mindset. So number 1 is assess the amount of excess just in case stuff you have. So if you walk through your home, room by room, one area at a time, and in that area, put all of your just in case I need it stuff in piles. And how many of each do you have? You actually could count them. So if you were in your basement and if you look through and you see your old cans of paint, could be that pink paint, blue paint that you painted, bedrooms years ago. Number 1, it's old. It probably isn't any good. But number 2, do you really need that? It's just in case. But if you think about it, probably going to change colors anyway. So another thing in the basement might be old tools, the bins of nails and screws and things that you've collected over the years that might not even be able to be used. They might be rusted. In your attic, children's clothing. So the just in case I have grandchildren, well, that could be, for some of us, it could be momentarily. But on the other hand, it could be many, many years. And then the bottom line is maybe our kids don't even want it. So we're holding on to those things just in case. Same thing is true of children's toys, children's books. And for sure, it's nice to keep some of those things. But the bottom line is, do we need all of the things that we keep just in case we need them? Another area would be your desk. So look in your desk, look in the drawers, see if you see ear pods, tech stuff, wires, things like that you thought, oh, I do need that, maybe just in case. Well, do you really? And if you do need it, keep a little bit of it, but do we really need all of it? If you look in your bookcase, that might be where you have your high school yearbooks and your college textbooks, or it could be CDs or VHS tapes. When I was cleaning out my big house, I found plenty of that. And it was all just in case I got around to reading them again, or just in case my kids would be interested in my college textbooks, which was highly unlikely. And then the other is look in your cosmetic drawer. That old makeup, the old lipstick, that probably isn't very good for you to use anyway, but those are just in case. Medicine cabinet, the outdated prescriptions, the junk drawer. This is kind of a funny area to look in. It might be a place to start. Would be look at those takeout menus or the coupons or the flyers that you collect. Those are all just in case I need them. Bottom line is we can go right to our phones and we can get those menus online. We can get coupons online. So do we really need all those just in case items? And the last area might be your closet. So for me, it's the business suits, and talking about this is going to make me act on that maybe this next weekend. I'll get rid of some of those business suits, the dressy dresses, or the high-heeled shoes that I rarely wear anymore. So anyway, after you have assessed your excess, and you realize the amount of excess the amount of excess items that you have, look at those big piles that you've created. And admit that the just in case really means never. So for me, wires, when I moved from one house to the other house to the other house, I kept carrying wires and I thought, why am I doing this? Finally, I got enough nerve to get rid of some of those wires. I have no idea what they were anyway. So admit that you have too much just in case items. And then ask yourself, when did I last use it? So for me, in terms of those wires, I don't even know. I didn't even know I had them. And easily it could have been 5 to 10 years since I used those. And certainly I didn't need them because I didn't use them. And then the next question to ask is, how likely will it be that you do need them or that you'll use them? So in my closet, there actually sat a size 6 dress. I haven't been a size 6 in many years. And so how likely was it that I would lose that kind of weight so that I would be in a perfect size 6 again? So then you have to admit it does take up valuable space in your home, in your mind, in your closet, in your drawers, whatever. That clutter weighs you down. So admit that it's been holding you down, holding you back from having a more clutter-free kind of life. And then what I would recommend that you do is actually ask yourself out loud, what's the worst case scenario if you let it go? What would be the worst case scenario if I let go of those business suits? Probably nothing, because I'll keep probably 2 or 3. And what would happen? Could you replace it? And if you absolutely had to, could you rent it? Could you borrow it? And the answer is likely. So the bottom line is, will you even miss it? So do you really need 7 wooden spoons, or could you possibly use 4? So it's a matter of creating boundaries around what you need and what you're just keeping just in case. And then another question to ask yourself is, does it add value to your life? Why are you holding on to it? What emotions does holding on to it mean for you? I mean, maybe you're guilty if you let it go because you spent good money on it, or maybe you're afraid that you'll lose the memory of your loved ones, or maybe it's just overwhelming, you don't want to deal with it. So just in case really means never. So that old paint sitting in the basement, the old college textbooks, probably means never, and it might be time to let them go. So then it's a matter of shifting your mindset. So you might want to ask yourself, who needs this more than I do? So I'll be asking myself about the business suits, probably about some warm coats, some shoes, and this time of year always brings that to mind, that someone else needs what I have more than I do. And so if we're looking at excess, it might be a good opportunity for you to just think of others and say, who needs this more than I do? So you can help others. And then the other thing to ask is, how could you use the freed up space in your house more effectively? So looking at your junk drawer, it's no longer a junk drawer because you've gotten rid of a good part of it. Looking at your closet, what are you going to do with that freed up space? Maybe you'll be able to dress quicker or see more things, so you have more opportunities to change it up a little bit. So you're not only helping yourself, you also have an opportunity to help others. So if you struggle with holding on to things just in case you need it, just in case you might want it, try those simple steps that help you and that will help you learn how to let go, so you can free up the space in your house, free up the space in your mind, and at the same time help someone else in need. Hopefully this helps. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you next week.